EA just announced a massive title update for Madden NFL 26 that has several gameplay changes that affect catching, pass rush, and the effectiveness of mobile quarterbacks escaping the pocket, as well as a ton of new plays and formations added to just about every single playbook in the game. They also made improvements to every game mode from franchise, MUT, superstar, and more. So if you guys want to learn everything that changed in Madden 26, stick around after this brief advertisement. If you guys are looking for fast, cheap, reliable MUT coins, check out my coin sponsors at MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 6% off your order. Link in the description below. The champ is here! Welcome back, Money Team. This is Madden Money Shot. Still out the Madden cheese as always. In today's video, I'm going to go over an update that's coming out tomorrow for Madden 26. That's right, they already released the patch notes, which is something they've been doing differently this year. But before I do, as always, if you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, let me know in the comment section. And let's go get right into the video. Now, I'm going to start off with the gameplay changes because that's obviously something that affects every single game mode. Before I get into the specifics that they actually changed in each individual game, but ultimately they did a lot when it comes to catching. This was something that a lot of people were saying that they had issue with, more specifically on defense, because a lot of people feel like there's a lot of forced drop pick animations that people really wanted to clean up, and they don't really mention that here, but they do mention increased knockout chances when it comes to for more realistic KO outcomes on competitive game styles, which is something that I hear a lot in MUT. People that play MUT, they say that the knockout KOs, or the mid-zone KOs and all that stuff, the flat zone KOs don't really work too well, as a lot of the stuff in this really feels like it's geared towards Ultimate Team, because we all know that that's the mode that they put the most time into. But if that's what they're talking about here, then it might be they might have improved the KO zones or the KO abilities when it comes to Ultimate Team. Now, it also says a lot of little things when it comes to just animations. Apparently, there was some sort of hand warping that was going on. They also fixed an issue where a receiver would warp to 23 mile per hour speed during a standing catch. All small stuff. They also have a section here called Locomotion, where it says increased acceleration when escaping the pocket for elite scrambling quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson. Now, it only mentions Lamar Jackson, so I don't know how many other quarterbacks are going to be affected by this, but I already feel like that's annoying enough. Why would they make this even harder to contain? Every single time I go into a game and it's the Ravens, I know right away I gotta have chase Lamar Jackson all the way around the field. I use the Eagles a lot, so I'm hoping that Jalen Hurts gets the benefit of this increased acceleration. But you can imagine some of the more annoying quarterbacks to play against, like playing against Washington, playing against maybe the Bills with Josh Allen, maybe. I would say an elite scrambling quarterback to me, Patrick Mahomes scrambles as good as anybody, but I don't know if he's not as fast. So we're really going to see how many different quarterbacks get the benefit of this new increased acceleration. We have another one here where it seems like they're going after the Ultimate Team crowd, where it says tuning to reduce the effectiveness of the spin move for taller ball carriers, which, that's something that obviously makes sense. Guys that are 6'5" probably should be able to spin and be as hard to hit as smaller guys. But this could definitely be to nerf spin cycle, which is something we saw in the Madden event that just happened, the MCS event, where everybody's using spin cycle on just about every single player because it's so overpowered. So this could be used to reduce the effectiveness of that as well in Ultimate Team. Now, a lot of stuff here I'm going to go over next is about changes to defense, one of which I hope is a little bit more widespread than they're selling it. As it says here, this has fixed an issue with zone coverage defenders flipping coverage assignments to the opposite side of the field, which sounds like a very common issue in Madden, where a lot of times you'll see a zone defender on the wrong side of the field at the start of a play. But then it also says specifically in the 3-3 single mug formation when the offense flips the play. So it's really just specific to that one play. It happens in more formations than just the 3-3 mug, but hopefully that's something that maybe they'll try to expand in other formations, because it is something that's a kind of a game-breaking bug. It also seems like they're seriously upping the pass rush, as they have several changes to that we kind of saw in college football already. It said fixing issues where defenders with equal or low pass rush ratings were unable to trigger a super win. It says now all defenders have a fair chance to break through based on situational factors and ratings, which is something that they worded a little bit differently in college, where they said that players that were just slightly lower rated than linemen still had the ability to do that. Now they're saying very bluntly that everybody has a chance. So it's something that really on any given play, any player could beat any lineman. So it just makes linemen even less valuable, which kind of already was a thing in Madden. If anybody can beat, if I play with the Eagles, if anybody can just beat Lane Johnson on any given play, that's not realistic at all, considering the guy went like several years once without giving up a sack. So I don't think that elite linemen should just have the fair chance to get beat by just about any defensive player, but that's what they're saying here. It also says that they improve the consistency of CPU/user control defensive linemen triggering pass rush moves, meaning that they're going to be doing it more often or more frequently. And then it also says reduce the frequency of this is something that they're lowering, reduce the frequency of bull rush moves from being triggered. It says pass rushers will now use a more balanced variety of moves based on their arch type and rating. So now you're gonna have more consistent pass rush moves. Lower rated players can beat any offensive lineman, and you're going to see more exotic pass rush moves, not just bull rush moves all the time, which really aren't that effective. Now they also talk about some things that they did when it comes to QB contains, which once again they did address in college, but they're doing it a little bit differently here, where it says fix the delay in contain defenders disengaging when the quarterback drops excessively deep in the pocket. It says pass rushers will now react more quickly to extended dropbacks, which means that if you drop back too far in the pocket, you're gonna get the QB contains to disengage based on how deep you drop back in the pocket. It also says adjusted animations for contains when defending against the run, actions, or play action. Defenders will no longer play the surf animation in these scenarios. I'm not really sure what that means, what the surf animation is, but it's just the idea that once again they've really put a lot of focus and attention when it comes to the actual pass rush itself. Now this next one here felt seriously needed. It says increase QB fumble chance versus user hit stick on competitive game style for better gameplay balance. In older Maddens, there was a much higher fumble chance if you ran with the quarterback. I still slide just about every single time I run with the quarterback because of that. So if you're a type of player who likes to run with the quarterback, just make sure that you're not doing it too much. You may be either sliding, giving yourself up, or running out of bounds, something of that nature, because there might be more fumbles once again, which is something that used to be in the game much more regularly. Speaking of fumbles, it also says resolved an issue where the ball carrier coach adjustment was impacting user players, resulting in user control ball carriers sometimes having a 0% chance fumble. Now that's something that I thought that they basically changed when they changed the coaching adjustment, that it says it only basically affected AI players. So if you were still using this, and I'm imagining it's probably a good idea to still put this on, because it sounds like it wasn't working the way they intended, and it was still basically turning off fumbles for regular players. Now sticking with the most important stuff here, they also changed something in special teams where it says increase the max distance of a field goal for kickers with 99 kick power to achieve a 70-yard field goal with a max power of obviously a low trajectory kick. It says dev note, they're basically trying to make this as realistic as possible, since somebody did kick, I think it was the Jacksonville Jaguars kicker, did kick a 70-yard field goal in the preseason. And there obviously are, it feels like 60-yard kicks are becoming the 50-yard kick now. They also address several blocked kick exploits, which I wasn't even aware of. And then it says fix an issue where kick returners were having trouble fielding the ball on shorter kicks to the numbers. So I'm guessing that there was a scum kick out there that people were using. Well, they addressed all that, so it doesn't really work anymore. Now they also added some new formations and a lot of new plays, but they also fixed a lot of issues with some of the older plays that I'm not going to go into, because it's specific plays, and what are the chances that you specifically listening to this were running these plays. But they did add a coverage shell adjustment to the dime 1-4 double mug and the nickel 2-4-5 odd mug formations, and they also added missing coverage shell adjustments that were fixed to the dime load weak. Now they also had a new formation, as it says the new formation is the 3-3-5 penny 3 high, which we do have, I think, a 3x3 3 high safety look in college, so they might have kind of borrowed from that. They also add a bunch of new plays as well. It says the blitz loop 3, nickel sim 2, and field sim 3 added to the nickel double mug, the 2-4 double mug, and the 3-3 double mug. So every double mug, which is already pretty overpowered formation, got a bunch of new plays. It also says the cover 2 roll, show SS sim 2 and cross sim 2 added to the nickel over, nickel 3-3 over, and nickel 2-4. And it does give a little bit of a dev note here where it says plays like the nickel sim 2, show SS sim 2, cross sim 2, and cover 2 roll are modern in modern football is known as non-traditional Tampa coverages. The sim is short for simulated pressure. Tag indicates that although the defense gives the appearance of a heavy blitz rushing 5 or more, in reality only 4 defenders rush while 7 drop into coverage. They also moved a lot of plays and formations around when it comes to defense. It says the Bengals add the 3-4 tight, the cub, the nickel 3-3 cub, the 3-3 double mug, the single mug, the dime single mug. That's a lot of really good formations, but it also removed the 4-3 over Y, which nobody really cares about. The 46 normal, I think, was only in the Bengals, so that might not even be in the game anymore. And they removed the nickel double mug, but the Bengals made out like bandits there if you use the Bengals playbook. It also says the Cardinals add the 3-3-5 penny 3 high and the dime 2-3 single mug. They talked about how that was something specific to what the Cardinals were doing, but I don't know how many other playbooks are going to have that because I don't see it anywhere else. So it sounds like only the Cardinals are going to have that 3-3 penny 3 high. I'll have this just popped up on screen because I don't want to just read over all these. As you can see your favorite playbooks. If you actually use any of these playbooks, you can see what was added and what was removed. I will mention that Kurt Bankert's Dimes playbook received 36 different plays from the Gun Bunch TE and 33 from the Gun Bunch X Nasty. That playbook by itself was really bare bones, and now it has, it looks like it's filling out. But 36 from one formation and 33 from another, that's basically like everything from the custom playbook. So if you're in the custom library, he basically just added the entire Gun Bunch TE formation and the entire Gun Bunch X Nasty formation. Looks like they add a lot to the presentation of the game as well, which I'll go over next, where it says they added pregame sequences for NFL rivalry programs. It says added CPU highlights for the halftime show and weekly recap. And then they also added several mascots. It said they added the Patriots mascot, Pat Patriot. And then it has a dev note here where it says that they actually added 8 mascots in the last update that they didn't mention. Guys like Blitz from the Seahawks, Blue from the Colts, Chomps from the Browns, Gumbo from the Saints, Panthers from, or Sir Purr from the Panthers, even though they got that backwards, Steely McBeam from the Steelers, T-Rack from the Titans, and Victor from the Vikings. So apparently these guys got added last time, they didn't mention it. With the most recent addition of Pat Patriot, that means that each NFL team with a custom mascot is now represented in the game. Apparently there's 5 teams that don't have mascots: the Chargers, the Jets, the Giants, the Packers, and the Raiders. But other than that, they also added some new wristbands, some new cleats, and some new player likenesses. I'll just have those popping up on screen to save time because it's kind of small. But just this, there are some changes here as they're still getting a lot of rookies into the game. But I still think there's a lot of veteran players, which I mentioned in a previous video, that need to be added to the game. Now, next I'm going to go over some individual changes for individual game modes, starting off with franchise mode, where it says something that I could have swore I already read in a previous patch note, where it says address an issue where the CPU automatically promotes the team's existing coordinator if a user leaves the league, preventing a new user from completing a game until the league advances. I thought that they said they tried to fix that already, but I guess they're trying to fix it again. I'm not really sure, but that sounds really familiar. After that, it also says updated an issue where coach abilities were displaying as locked, although they were upcoming within the coach's archetype path, which are probably the 2 biggest issues because it does say they resolved multiple stability issues, which is usually just wordplay. Now, when it comes to Superstar mode, the biggest thing is they added a new stats tab in the Superstar Center with standings and league leaders. Can't imagine why that wasn't in the game before. But then it also says that they fixed several issues like the Adidas quest line, which could not be completed with certain gear, and fixed an issue when completing the combine would sometimes result in a black screen. Now, when it comes to Ultimate Team, this is obviously the biggest one because this is the mode that they care about the most, but the majority of them are really about accurately tracking either your your rewards, the things you buy, or the actual field pass system itself. It says fix an issue where rewards and new item flows would not trigger after finishing certain events, earning XP, or leveling up in a field pass. That's pretty much the entire whole first paragraph here. So that's something I'll believe it when I see it, because I tried to do one of their Twitch drops. We had to watch the MCS tournament to get a free card, never got it, and that was basically what happened to pretty much everybody in the last MCS event, where nobody got Tristan McCollum apparently. So that's something that we'll believe when we see it, EA. So I'm gonna go to my end of the video there, but if you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, let me know in the comment section. Other than that, thanks for watching, man. My shit out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.